Hello and welcome everybody. It's February. That's a month of the year that starts with F. So, F fits right in with what we're doing today. It's another F word series on the Holy Shift Show. Hi, I'm Elaine Nieberding, and I have a couple panelists with me here today. We are going to have one fun time talking about Hangouts on Air, formats, and feedback. Today I have with me his Rockness, your Rockness, William Rock. How you doing, William?
Can you hear me?
Yes, where are you hanging out from, William?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. We are so happy you're here with us. Let me jump on over to my next lady. It's Melanie Hall. Where are you hanging out from, Melanie?
Ohio. Woo!
Is Ohio frigid today, or is Ohio frozen?
I think we have climbed to 11 degrees, and tonight it's going to be 0 again. So we feel really warm at 11 right now.
Okay, and across the ocean, we have David Moore. Hello, David.
Hi,
Where are you
Elaine.
hanging out from?
At the moment, I'm at home in the middle of Ashdown Forest in East Sussex, in a very freezing UK.
A freezing UK. Well, we hope that the viewers today, watching live on Google+, watching live via YouTube, are going to share with us those warm feelings, those curious comments, those active questions, so we can get a conversation started here today. I want to just take a moment to let each of my panelists just say a little bit about what you do. William Rock.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. This has been cool already, the intro. Loving it. I am just a geek on the internet. I love helping businesses survive and thrive.
Hey, William, that was effing concise. I love it. Melanie Hall.
Whew, I'll try to beat that. I have a business called Big Uptick Social Marketing LLC, and I run a HOA every Monday, and I design websites. I help you with your social media. Da da da.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. I tried to get through that frickin' fast.
Hey, that's good. Dave Moore. Hey, Dave, don't use too many flexpletives during this show.
Okay, I haven't got any da 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 da. Unfortunately, I'm making a note of that. I've got to put some of that in there sometime. My name's David Moore. We are the HPT Transformation Company. We take people and businesses and transform them into the people they were destined to be. We create a future designed with you in mind, and we can do this all over the world, all different sizes of audiences, and we have some seminars coming up this year over the other side of the pond, which is your side of the pond, Elaine.
Our side of the pond. Well, that will be lovely. We'll be eager to hear about that at the end of the show if you have a little bit more information. So we have folks hopefully watching us from all around the world. Our audience of this show, the Holy Shift Show, which debuted in October of 2014. It's slowly growing, but we have a global audience, and we sure hope we're going to grow a global audience and an engaged audience. The wonderful thing about Hangouts is you get to see us live. We're real people. We're authentic people. We're sometimes really funny people. And we hope, and other Hangout hosts, when they host the shows, they hope you're going to come to know, like, and trust them, and maybe engage with them deeper and deeper. That's the wonderful thing about Hangouts. So this Hangout capability has been here on Google Plus for a couple of years now. Some of us have been exploring the freedom and the fun of this great tool for longer times or shorter times. For all of us here in the panel, we've all appeared on Hangout shows. Some of us have hosted them. And so I'm going to be eliciting some perspectives from my panelists on formats of Hangout on Air shows. And I would love to start with you, Melanie, because you've been on a couple different shows with different formats, and I imagine your current show has even seen some evolution. So let's start out talking a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I started my first HOA series back in November of 2013, and that was known as Women in Business Today. And I created it because I didn't see any format that had women in business of today. So I hunted down 2 people that I didn't even know, but I discovered them through Google+. They were already very camera savvy and you know, been on shows, and so I said, well, if they know 2 people, then we'll have this forum. And so that ran all the way through a whole solid year till November 2014. Meanwhile, split in the middle of that, back in May of 2014, I started the Lights Camera HOA show, which is not as formatted as the other show, because we are dealing with newbies, not very seasoned people. So balancing 2 shows was a challenge. Now I'm only balancing the 1, but experimenting with 2 different types of formats is a great way to first expand your own capabilities, and also to meet new people. You meet the brand new people and the very seasoned people all at the same time.
And so one of the questions I have for you, Melanie, is, do you, do you watch other Hangout host shows to, like, see the formats? I mean, when you're watching them, you know, for the content of the show or the experience of the show, that's probably part of it. But do you ever watch with really exploring the format of it while you're viewing? Do you ever do that?
I do, and I don't think I can help but do that because of, you know, the responsibility that I have. I want to see if I'm keeping up with trends. Am I better at it? Am I worse at it? And I watch HOAs all the time. Maybe I don't get to attend them live because I try to operate a business, but I do watch a lot of things on replay. And I specifically like to watch brand new shows because I like to get the feel of, to see if they are expressing the purpose and the objective of that show. And if I can't guess it, then I probably won't watch again. You know, because I do try to watch for the objective of the shows I look at.
Yeah. I have just pinned Karen Shin, and Karen Shin is here. She's saying hello from sunny California. And she notices that Debbie Ferrand and Dave Pipe and Missy J are in the audience today. And I say hello to each of them. Thank you so much for being here with us. I know that each of you, who I've just named, watch a lot of Hangouts, are great commenters on Hangouts, and so we really welcome your responses in the comment stream. You know, let me just start out by saying I think in addition to the content that a Hangout host wants to put forth, if the host has an awareness of the feeling they want to be having while they're doing their show and the type of feeling experience they want their viewers to have, that resonance matching can really help a lot in having viewers come back. So I sure hope that my viewers will share with me some feedback about the feelings they have for this show and other shows, as well as format. Let's see. I see that we have Lynn Sanders here. She's saying hi to everybody. She's hanging out from sunny and cold Winnetka, Illinois. She's saying hi to Melanie, William, Dave, Pipe, and Karen. Great questions, Elaine, and exploring the format of different shows. So thank you for being here, Lynn. Let me jump on over to William. William Rock.
Wow.
You are probably known. Oh, your Rockness.
No,
I forgot to say your Rockness. What?
the wow type moment in this show. You've just started what a fantastic opportunity to talk even further for businesses and even personal brands. Wow. That's all I can say right now for the intro.
Thank you. Okay, so William, what I want to ask you, first, you are such a prolific viewer and commenter. We know and we appreciate all the shows that you show up at and the enthusiasm that you generate. It really draws other people in and also gets them commenting. So first off, I want to say thank you for that. But now I want to ask you about your responses to different formats of shows. In the green room, when I was talking to Melanie, she said, there are shows that are instructional. There are shows that are very much talking about trends and business trends. There are some that are more edutainment-oriented or entertainment-oriented. There are some that exist to be rant platforms. I love that. I never quite heard that, Melanie. And then, like Ammon Johns and Bill Slayevsky, they have the bogus hangout, which is completely random.
Yeah.
They never know what they're going to talk about, but they do invite specific people in at the start of the show, and then open it up at the end for lots of people to come in. So, what's coming from your heart and from your head at this moment about formats?
Formats I watch very carefully. I do attend a lot of shows, as most on the watching panel and everybody in the audience. I'm there. I try, and I do a lot of listening to shows. If I'm working, I'll actually listen to a show, or I'll do what Melanie said. I'll actually put it in my watch later in YouTube, and I'll come back to it, or I'll use Google Keep. I use Google Keep all the time, and I go, oh my goodness, something really exciting happened at part 15 minutes, whatever. Go back, rewatch. And so I'll put a note, I'll put the tag, and then I'll have that as a reminder that comes up on my phone and says, oh, when you have time, do you have time? Or I can click snooze, And the beautiful part is I can still not miss my favorite shows from my favorite hosts, my favorite people on the internet, and it makes a difference to me to be able to also go back and watch to see the elements that the host would change it up. You said Bill, like the Bill and Ted Bogus Adventures and stuff. They've created a full show, but you never know the direction it's going to end up. You can bring people in, and then 30 minutes into the show you have a serious conversation, and the last 30 minutes you have no clue what it's going to be. Because you open it, when you send that link down in the comment bar, everybody sees it. They can now connect to us, and they're live. It's recorded. That little button on the top corner that says yellow live. Well, it's kind of like the on-air button that we would have in the radio station, right?
Right.
So
William, we have the wonderful freedom, if we're watching a show and it's got a really random kind of format like that, once again, we got the freedom to keep watching or not watching, live, or catch it on the replay when maybe we have a little bit more time. But for the shows that have pretty structured formats, where sometimes the Hangout host will detail bullet points of the things they're going to cover. One of the people that comes comes to mind is Virginia Parsons in her inspirational women's business show.
Absolutely.
She's got a 30-minute show, has it structured, provides a lot of actionable content, and that is a format that fits for her.
Yes.
That's not my style at all, but that really works. So what other one really comes to mind, William, as being a really effective format for like for talking about marketing?
Okay, so the one that comes top of my mind, and the way this host, and I'll bring it in a second, but this host brings the show to a totally different caliber every time. It doesn't matter the format. Like, it could be a sponsored show that person is actually involved in, that's helping a brand, or that person's personal show. Every time the format is very consistent. It's let's bring our whole point to like 2 minutes of introduction, and we have what's going to be spoken about. You have, just like you're speaking on stage, what am I going to talk about? Then bring into, okay, let's bring our audience in. Again, always bring in Hangouts. It's different.
We're getting really curious, William.
Okay.
Who are you talking about?
Okay, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. One of my favorite hosts is going to be Mia Voss. Mia hosts every single show like a dynamic. Not to say, Ellen, different. You're awesome, rocking this. But I think that would probably end up being the way that she calibrates her show every single time is very on key, and she's able to bring the geek like me out, but not too much, and then gets me back on track like you do, right? As a host, you're bringing us back from geek to reality, to what's the points, right? And I think at the very end, now you have closing, and you always have a closing thought, and you have finish of the show, and then you have maybe a couple tidbits, but not a huge marketing pitch. It's more, hey, what's going on next week?
Yeah.
Bring us to that next. Hey, I want you to get my next part of my attention. Excite me for my next week.
Right. Okay. I want to jump on over to Dave. Dave, you're a business person. You've conducted business in lots of different ways in lots of different places all over the world, and yet, you have chosen to get active on Google+, and it's a different social media platform, certainly, than Facebook and Twitter and all of them. And you spend time watching Hangouts. So share something with me, for the business person who might have limited amounts of time to be watching these shows. What's your feeling about the formats and drawing people in to watch?
Well, I must admit, I concur with William regarding Mia Voss. There is a great format, and I think it's a safe format, not because it's safe in as much as Mia is just doing the same thing over and over again. It's safe because you know how the Hangout is going to progress, and you know at which stage you're going to learn and find out, X, Y, Z. The other person that I would say that holds a benchmark to me, or two people, one is Jason Weiser. And I did the Jason Weiser show, and it was very structured. And I think it was the first time he'd ever done it without me knowing what the questions were, because I don't like to know if I'm being asked anything, the questions prior, because I never know what I'm going to say. Sometimes I laugh because it's the first time I've even heard it when I say it. So it's to me, I work in an environment when we deal with people in seminars, big numbers, and anything can happen. So to me, Hangouts where there is no safety net, I think is a great format. The other person that does this very, very well is Andy Lyons, who is very one-person focused. And the definition of focus to me is follow one course until successful. And every time Andy Lyons is with somebody, she's focused on that one person. And I feel that Andy is very much a sort of Oprah Winfrey of Hangouts, because she probably says to her, like Oprah, I found out about Oprah Winfrey was that when she's interviewing someone, she always asks them, what do you want to achieve from this interview? And I think once you know what your guest wants to achieve with this and what message they want to give, you know, that way a hangout really achieves something. And they're short; they're about 30 minutes long. But I saw, oh, the cat's out of the bag now. I saw.
Hello, cat.
I did a show, because I go on them, but I don't particularly like hosting them myself. I think I've said that to you before. But Sean Marn did one with me. It was about an hour where we were discussing various transformational things. But he's running a hangout now with Sandra Watson, which is in about 8 o'clock my time. It's about 35 minutes from now, and it only lasts 20 minutes. And it really is like listening to two people. You're overhearing two people talking in a coffee shop, and they talk about a subject each week, and it's very short and very immediate. All of them work, I think. There's no one that's better format than another, as long as you know what the focus of it is. It's when they veer off and they go somewhere else, and you think, how the hell are we going to get back on subject with this? You know, and they're off, and then somebody heads them off at the pass, and suddenly they're back. If it's controlled, you know, I think you have to understand that the viewer has other things to do as well.
Yeah.
And they've come for a specific reason to listen and discover, learn, and find out about a subject that's close to their heart. And if you continue weaving your way along this line, that's fine. But as soon as they go off, I think the numbers probably go up and down.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the focus with me.
The focus.
Yeah.
You mentioned,
Which is
you know, Andy doing such a good job with her one-on-one interviews, and that's because there's a clear understanding on the part of both of them. What are the objectives of this discussion? And that reminds me that Ronnie Benser had a program just last week with Sean Manaher talking about how to prepare panelists and participants for effective participation in a show. For those people who've been on panels before, you know, it might be pretty easy. They know how to do the Hangout setup. Like for my shows, I don't have really specific questions. As I begin a program, I'll typically have an idea of my general topic. In the Hangout room, I'll mention that. I might give a sense of where the conversation will begin, but then I really want to go with the flow of the interaction of the people on the show, as well as drawing comments from the comment stream that might take things in a completely different direction. And I would also like to give grand credit to Marilyn Shannon. Not too many people know about this show yet, and a lot of people I hope will visit it. It's a Thursday show called Skywire. It has one overall focus, and that is called listening. And there are typically 5 to 7 people on the Hangout every week, and we don't prepare anything ahead of time. And it's like we enter into this space to become kind of like a group mind that's just really paying attention to what's moving forth to be said. And there have been so many experiences where we finish the show and our mouth just kind of drops open in amazement because of how the flow occurred in the show, and how we just trusted that what was going to emerge that would bless us as participants and bless audiences who would watch either live or in the future. I want to jump back to our comment stream because Karen Chin has a question for us. Karen, thank you for asking a question. She says, ask Melanie Hall about her experience with Terry Lee Britton on his Friday night's game show, Plus Words. Melanie. There's all kinds of shows, indeed.
Yeah, that's recorded. You can watch the replay if you want to see what was said live. But great experience, great experience. That's another HOA concept where it's a game show. And I went on the game show as a challenge to step outside my comfort zone because with Lights Camera HOA, I expect people to step out of their comfort zone. So in order to play fair, it was only right for me to go on that show where I didn't know, I wasn't in control of anything, not one thing. And, you know, being partnered with Terry on this game show, he's so clever. I had a bellyache before I went on because I said, maybe I won't even get his clues. But we had an absolute mind meld when I was supposed to guess the word river, and his only clue was Crimea, the place. He said Crimea, and I said river. And that was amazing. Because you're not allowed to use phrases. But when he said Crimea River, I knew he meant a place, but I said, he doesn't want me to say like Ukraine. He wants me to say something simple because I know that we were doing simple words. So it was just a magic moment, very magic.
It took me a long time to get that one, Melanie. Crimea.
Well, yeah, there was a song a long time ago.
Crimea River.
Yeah.
Crimea River.
And I think today's youth don't know what that song is. You can Google it, by the way. Google that song.
Okay. I want to check comment tracker again. Let me jump on over to William. William, say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm looking at comment tracker. I want you to use your wise self and continue the conversation.
So, why Crimea River was awesome. How about that?
Yes, why was it awesome?
I used why and then Crimea and then awesome because awesome. How do we explain awesome, lady? Rock, come on, you can. What is the word?
Awesome. We so me.
Yes.
We so me.
I'll find it. I have it here.
That's why you're the word lady.
I know.
You're awesome with that.
Maybe I'm the word lady.
There you go. I did, Elaine, if I can, I wanted to mention, oh gosh, what was it I wanted to mention? William, take it from here. No, I
mention this. Okay, so you have a fantastic show. And before I interrupted with that really cool, awesome moment, what were we talking about? And what was my question before that?
Well, William, we were talking about game shows, and yes. So I'm going to continue on this idea of with Hangouts, we get to play. We get to play around with formats. So let me ask you this. Have you seen any Hangout hosts start out with a format and then do something completely different that surprised you?
Yes, actually, that would be Zara. If you go back in the days when Zara first started her shows, she had the beginning phases. But if you look at the progress of the type of hosts, the type of guests that she's had on her show, every show has also become a learning lesson for her. And so with a learning lesson, like we all experience, if we go to a trade show or we go to a conference, whatever it might be, learn something online, we always learn and take away something. And I think what she's done, really, as well as there's a lot of other names that come to mind. But with Zara, if you go back to her first Hangout, I mean, I encourage you guys to go way back to her first one. Go back to her YouTube and then look at her now.
Okay, hold on a minute. For those who are watching who might not know the name Zara, we're speaking of Zara Altair, and her show is the Midweek Zap.
On Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays.
And you can always expect something new. But what she's always doing is exploring her new ideas. She's found some different things from different guests that basically she got little nuggets and said, oh, I'm going to try this in my show. And that goes into experimentation, right? Try it. If it doesn't work, then don't do it again. But does it work? Cool. Does it excite the audience? Cool. Does it bring more comments? Cool. I don't know. If it works, it works.
I want to jump on up, William, and read a comment by your other half. I could have said better half, but your other half. Deborah Rock is here, and she's saying, Mia Voss does have a safe format that does follow a script, and that's great when on a strict time limit. But for shows that have a little bit more time, like Elaine Nieberding and Zara Altair, there is more freedom and more group chatter. I love that part.
And so do I.
Me too.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Love it.
That reminded me of what I was going to say that kind of flew away. I was going to say it's really, there's two elements of an HOA. You have the inside, which is the host, the co-host, the panelists. Then you have the outside, which is the people viewing. Well, if you were to prioritize just two of those things, which is more important, the audience or the host? In my experience, it is the host, then the audience. And for this reason, the host has to be very comfortable with the style they're presenting. Mm-hmm. So you have to be in love with the style you're using. If it's a comedic style, you should.
We're back.
What happened?
We are back.
We're still live. Hey.
I don't know what happened, but some of us are still here.
The Google gods have...
Here we are. Okay, did we lose contact just a second?
Yeah, we did. The Google
gods...
have...
the whole thing just went away, and then fabulously came back.
Yeah, you did great, Elaine.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Gorgeous job.
I didn't have to touch a button. That's great. Oh, that's great.
Somebody's on my side today.
Yeah.
Elaine, the Google gods are in our favor.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put up my my lower third again. Each of you may put up your lower third or your overlay again, because especially toward the end of the show, we like to let people know where. Guess what? I'm gonna have to do.
So we were with Melanie at the last portion of that, and we got disconnected, but she was right at that maximum point of
Yeah. So if you were to prioritize those two, you got the inside, outside, the host, and in my experience, the host you have to love you have to love your style, because you're going to have to do it all the time. And your audience, they will give you feedback. And you should listen to your audience, but not to the point where you allow them to destroy you, because if they don't like your show, they'll just move on. Because the whole point of why we do our shows is because as a host, we love we have a passion about our topic, and we ultimately want to get an in-depth relationship with our viewers. We don't want to have 500 viewers and 400 tell us we stink and they go to the next show. We want to get grasp that few bit that comes all the time and comments and knows when we're off key that day, or knows when when we have a runny nose. They know us that well.
Or we just blooper out. All of a sudden, Melanie, great point, but what happens if we blooper out and lose connection and the show goes dead for a second and everybody goes, whoa!
Well, we lost comment tracker, so, What else to do?
Oh.
I tell you what, dear Dave over here must be bursting with things to say. Dave.
No, really. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Dave.
Yeah, God, I thought he was going to ask me something then. This business about the host and the guest. I think you're absolutely right. As soon as the host loses their own unique style, then I think your hangout can become very similar to other people's hangout. Everybody's got something unique about them, and although we like feedback, and everybody likes feedback, and everybody likes to know that what they're doing is different and it's working, and it's as soon as you start to change the main tenet of what it is that you do, just to please a lot of people who want to watch, you tend to find that there is no difference between yourself and there is a likeness about it. So you tend to lose, I think, viewers. You tend to lose people watching you because it's very same. And so that's. I just want to say that I agree completely with that. I mean, the business about who's most important it rises and falls really on the host, because they're the one driving it, and they're the one giving it its direction. They're at the helm, and if you have no idea where you're going to go with this, and you're just listening to the feedback from people saying you should go this way, you should go this way, you should do this, you should do that, all you're going to do is should all over yourself. It's just not going to work.
Or shift all over yourself.
Shift all over yourself.
It's one other thing I just wanted to say is quite a little bit of a diversion. What you were saying earlier about the Crimea River, which is a great pun where things are literal translation of something as it sounds. It was only about a month ago I got on a train to London, and somebody had left a newspaper and they'd almost completed a crossword, and I picked this up and I started looking at it, and I was filling in somewhere, and I got to a crossword clue, and I thought, I can't fit this across, and I can't even remember what it was. I can't fit it across this, so I started checking what they'd written, and it all matched except for one, and the clue was Supreme, 9 letters. Now I thought Paramount, it's got to be Paramount, and when I checked what they'd written for Supreme 9 letters, they'd written Diana Ross.
That's what I was counting on my fingers. I forgot the Ross. I said, I was spelling Diana, and I said, no. And then you said Ross. I'm like, there's the other part of that. and I was sitting there thinking, what was going on in this person's mind? It was Supreme 9 letters, yeah. Wow.
No, I mean, I like the hangouts, as I said earlier on, but I'm not a host. I cannot get to grips with the technology of it. And if I did it, I'd like it very, very, very structured. I've done them, but my technical expertise is not great. So I hand a lot of my stuff to other people. As I said to you before, the only thing I'm proud of is that I actually designed and uploaded my website. That's the only thing I've ever managed to do. But everything else, no. The cabling, the timing, what part of Google does this, I think it's an enormous mystery to me, but it's an enormous job when you're doing it. I have total respect for people who run hangouts week in, week out, and keep them consistent. I think it's an awesome job that they do, and some job.
Okay, so I've had to carry on here and make my own holy shift because I could not get my lower thirds back or anything like that.
There's been a lot of
I really did at the end of this show. I wanted to ask. I wanted to talk briefly about feedback, and we do get responses by comments in the comment stream, and we do get a sense of feedback by seeing who's coming back to shows and whether our numbers are coming up. But is there a role for Hangout hosts to play, to send out little mini polls, or even host some, say, non-broadcast Hangouts with the most regular viewers and say, what would you really like? Or what shall we try? Because I'm thinking of some different things. Most everybody here knows I'm a holistic nurse. I'm a teacher of laughter yoga. I've done a couple programs in the last year related to laughter. But I've been thinking in the back of my mind, I would like, should I have a show maybe once a month that's called like the Laughing with Entrepreneurs show, where I have a group of people from the Plus coming on the show, and we're doing some things whose definite focus is to get us shifting our mood and actually do some of this laughter practice together. Let me just ask, now Dave, I know you're not real comfortable with this.
I'm comfortable with anything.
But I really want to poll my audience of watchers. Would that be interesting to you? Melanie or William, is that a show that you would be willing to come on and help me try it out at least once?
Can I add to it before we actually get to that?
Go ahead.
To add to that, for anybody that wants to ask these type of questions to their audience, the first thing that comes to mind is the poll feature with inside the, when you go and post something, you have a feature for actually creating a poll. Make sure you take your time, though. Focus on your message, your formatting, and then give a good picture. What is this about first? Yes, and then just what are the 3 things you're trying to focus on? Don't focus on like a 10-part list. People aren't going to pay attention to it. Give them 3 questions, and then with those 3 questions, below those 3 questions, please also add additional details to my Google form. So you're going to go into Google Docs. You're going to create a new form, and you're basically going to go to View Live, get the little URL, go to the Google URL shortener, take it and say, okay, Google is basically GOO.GL is the shortener. Basically go there, drop your link in, grab that, pop it in your post, and it's gorgeous because now you'll take your customer or your visitors right to a form that now you can ask all the questions you're asking to me today. And then you can pull everyone versus just a simple pull. You got your basic answer on the Google Plus, but you get your detailed answer and what's next. If you can get them to actually go to the next level with your audience, I'm sure they'll do that same thing for you.
Thank you, William. You spelled it all out for me. I knew those were some of the elements of things I could do, and I thought I would ask some of my audience today, but that's perfect. And for any of the other Hangout hosts that are out there, think about that. Do you, do you do measurements that way and do that kind of data mining? Because that could really help determine the direction of where your show should go, and the audience is being responsive. They're engaging. They're actually helping create the direction of the show. That's wonderful.
And because I bring that only for the fact that others have used that, and they've done that for my shows. And I think that's been helpful for me in creating my next show next. You know what I mean? It's like I get that engagement. I get what my people are wanting to know next. If they have a question for me, boom, it's done. I'll find an answer for you guys.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I wanted to address your question specifically, Elaine, about if you created that. I would adore a place where I could go as a business owner, entrepreneur, and have the laughing exercise would be kind of like a vent and rant. So we could, like, without revealing how weird our business is, like, just say, And you know what else they said? They said a camera too. You know, which is just so we could all laugh. Say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they asked you that." You know, it would be a place where we could experience like, yeah, I sent an invoice and he said I didn't want an invoice, I wanted a bill. Because you have the word in, you know, this is the kind of stuff we run into. People say, "Well, I didn't pay the invoice. I was looking for a bill." Well, it's the same thing. You know, it's just the word on the paper says invoice. You know, just stuff like that. And that way, it would be some entertainment, some learning. It would be very masterful to disguise these funny moments without revealing our client or customer in case they were watching. But it would, you know, that would be a good experiment.
Okay, well, I have some ideas, and given that I know how the flow of laughter yoga sessions go and the creativity that can be there, everything that you've said is really helpful. We are coming to the close of our show, but let me see. William, Deborah, your wife has asked a question, and we're gonna have to address that in the comment stream afterwards.
Isn't she like in the other room?
No, she's at the office today. She's where I'm supposed to be tomorrow, so I'll be all day in the office tomorrow. But I actually get I work remote, which is a luxury for me because I've got a disability. But she's got to go into the office every day. So
I'm just waiting for her head to pop in any time. You know, like over your shoulder.
No, I've got
Focus. I'm grabbing the reins back of the show because I'm already over the allotted time for this show, and I want to be relatively kind to my viewers. Okay, let me ask each of my guests, starting with Dave, either for a takeaway or just a point that you'd like to drive home or share about formatting and feedback of HOAs, and then conclude with also where people can get in touch with you, etc.
Etc. Yeah. Yeah, I think the takeaway I take away from this is that there are a multitude of formats out there, and I think one size does not fit all. We know what we like, and we like what we know, and we have to sometimes give other formats a chance, because it's not necessarily the format that we need to concern ourselves with. It's the message that we're going to receive, and it's the content that we're after. I think there's a lot of respect for people who host these shows. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of understanding of Google, because Google is an ever-changing format. But also it has the interests of your viewers at heart, and so I respect everybody that runs these hangouts, especially you, Elaine, with your freedom of this of these hangouts, because you're willing to let it go in areas that you hadn't foreseen, but you can bring it back, and so the common thread is always there, and that's a gift. It's also a gift to be invited onto your show, and if people want to find out a little bit more about the transformation work we do with individuals, people, companies, etc., all you've got to do is put HPT-transformation into Google, and the first page that comes up is full of us, and you'll find us on every social media there is, either my name or the HPT transformation. So thanks very much.
Yep. And Dave, since I didn't give you an opportunity to talk about coming over to the U.S. this spring, if you want to put anything about that in the comment stream, feel free to do that. Okay?
Thanks.
Melanie.
Yes, thank you, Elaine. I love this. And quickly, rather than, you can see my lower third, it's Big Uptick Social Marketing LLC. Find that anytime you want. But what I really want to, the takeaway I have from this show today is all of us, when we think of hosts and shows, our favorites come top of mind, and there's a reason for that. And when we explore that among ourselves, as we become a host, if we want to do that sometime, that's your path you take. So if you enjoy educational HOAs, then chances are you will probably be a very good educational host. So follow suit. And to help you with that, it's very important to get your on-camera practice. So Lights Camera HOA, that's what I'll plug here. Monday nights or Monday evenings, depending where you are in the time zone. You have to step outside your comfort zone. You have to be that fish that jumps out of water a little bit and explores the shoreline. And, if it's not comfortable, get back in the water, but at least explore what the shoreline is, and you will be surprised. You might be a fish that develops legs like a lizard. So we can all evolve.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. And once again, if there's anything else that you want to add into the comment stream, please do. I also want to mention before we end up with William, I have put in the comment stream already the link to the Flocker Room. So after we end the broadcast, scroll through the comments, scroll down, you will find that link so you can come and join us for a little more flocking conversation. Okay, William, final takeaways and people following up with you?
Fantastic. Well, Rockstar Show, loved it. Holy flocksters, whatever we want to say there. And with that, basically I've been working, you guys haven't seen me for a while. I know I've been distant, but I've been really working on the book. And I've also got something to add to my book, which is going to be Udemy. I don't know if many people know about Udemy, but it's something it's simple to make a course. I mean, literally, I can record stuff, I can make a course. Long story short is, you can find me on Google, type my name in, I'm a rock star. Love it. Oh, and you can actually type in now, if you type in #rockstar or #rockout, I'm there.
How did you grab that one, William?
I have no...
You're a rockness. Okay, so to the viewing audience today, you've gotten the feel for this kind of show. We're kind of loose, fun, and freewheeling. It's all about helping people feel their way into shifting perspectives out of fear, more into balance, love, health, wellness, wisdom, empowering each other with fun engagement. That's what we're about. On Thursdays, as I said earlier, please check out Marilyn Shannon's Skywire show. You'll see me in a different mode there, but that is a wonderful format for you to explore. And also, because I like talking about other hosts, if I'm going to be on the show, you know what? I might just tell you I'm going to be on it. Dennis Deuce and Kristen Drysdale have the Network Roundtable show. They have a show called The Season of Values, and they have one with a very different kind of format. They have a Monday show, which has the people of the week, the superhero and the sidekick, asking or having to answer the questions, who are you and why? 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 And fantastic show, and it's a lead-in to the Friday show. So I've selected a sidekick, Dawn Nocera. I've selected a superhero, Dawn Nocera, and she selected a gentleman, Robert McPhee, as her sidekick. They were on the Monday Who Are You and Why show, and on Friday, the 24th, the 27th, they will be on the show. I will be co-hosting. Robin Holland will be joining me. Dennis and Kristen will be there. Great show. It really puts a spotlight on wonderful people on Google Plus and helps you explore these values that are the key part of our human living and experience. So, I'm Elaine Nieberding. Remember to find me at google.com/plus Elaine Nieberding. Nieberding, Nieberding. You will remember it. This is the Holy Shift Show. We're laughing as we flock on out of here. Come join us in the flocker room. We will see you next week on the Plus. Take care, everybody.